Hello, Internet. It is I, Malik Aaron, and welcome back to Box Office Predictions. Today we're going to be talking about House Party. So, as usual, we're going to be going over the pros and cons. So, let's get to it. Pros. So, this is a reboot of House Party, which came out in the early 90s and starred Kid and Play. And that movie, I have to find it though. It was, well, it wasn't a humongous success. It was a solid hit, and it got like really strong acclaim to the point where it's actually last year it was put in the United States National Film Registry, which is pretty high honor for any movie. So, I mean, your movie has to be good if you're there. So yeah, this is the original here. Only made like $26 million, but it was super cheap. So it's not a huge deal. And it spawned a whole franchise because of course it did. It had two theatrical sequels, then it had two direct to DVD sequels. Like the rest aren't like the franchise peaked with the first movie and then it was a downhill slide after that in terms of quality. But I know, like with most things, this movie definitely has its fans, no doubt. And I imagine some of those fans are going to be somewhat interested in this new take on House Party. So, yeah, so I'd say, I guess the brand recognition of the original might help this movie out a bit. I don't know how much, but it might have some positive impact. So I'm gonna label that as a pro, albeit a very minor pro in the grand scheme of things. So that's pro number one. Pro number two is that this movie was initially supposed to go to HBO Max, but when the whole Warner Brothers Discovery merger happened and David Zaloff, he was brought in. Well, he became like the new CEO of everything. He saved this movie from the HBO Max fate and decided, you know what, we're gonna make this theatrical. He would do the same thing to Magic Mike's Last Dance and Evil Dead Rise. So I mean, escaping streaming and going theatrical is a good thing because you won't be there's like less of a chance you're gonna get drowned out because there's a lot of streaming content, like an overwhelming amount. It's very easy to get lost in the shuffle. With theatrical, it won't be as bad. I mean, it's still there, but it's not as severe as being a streaming movie. So yeah, making this theatrical instead of HBO Max, I'd label that as a pro. I mean, look what happened with Smile. That was supposed to be Paramount Plus, but then they're like, wait a minute, no, we have something here. Let's put it on in theaters, and that turned out to be a brilliant move. So, yeah, escaping streaming, I would label that as a pro. Another pro is that this movie's been marketed a lot. You've probably been seeing a lot of ads for this movie because Warner Brothers, they always do this. Even now, when they say, oh, we don't have any money, they sure do like marketing their movies a lot. They're like pushing constant ads. They've been doing this for years and they're not stopping. It's their strategy, just bombard people with ads enough that people will be like, okay, fine, I'll watch your movie, God. So yeah, ads definitely there, so that's a pro. And uh I think that's it really. I mean, I guess it's the holiday weekend, MLK Jr. weekend, that could help it a little bit. But yeah, I think that's it. Okay. Cons. Oh boy. Reviews are not good for this. It as of me, making this video, it's at 30%. It may have changed. I'm about to refresh the page off screen. It's 29%. Okay, so this is 29%. That's not something to brag about. Its audience score isn't exactly booming either. It's at like 62%, which is really not good because audiences tend to be more forgiving towards movies. And so having an audience score that low is not a good sign. But sometimes movies can be critic proof. You can be critic proof. There's plenty of examples of being that. But audience proof, I don't think that exists. So, yeah. So it's not really appealing to either both critics or audiences. That's a big problem. So I'm gonna label that as a con. Uh, what else? I guess like from like what I've seen of the movie, like from the trailer. I remember I saw a trailer in front of I believe it was Black Adam. Pretty sure it was Black Adam. I saw the trailer and oof, it did not look great. it looked it just it felt so lame and just I just didn't like it. It did not make me want to watch the movie. It failed at its job. And yeah, like all the trailers, all the other ads, they don't exactly paint a great picture when it comes to the quality of the movie. So yeah, just I guess lackluster trailers and ads, I would consider those cons. There's also like there's 5 movies coming out this weekend. This won't be the worst performing one of the bunch, but I see it easily being drowned out by A Man Called Otto and Plane. Not to mention there's Avatar: The Way of Water. There's Meg Thregan. There's even Puss in Boots 2 is still around. All of those movies are will no doubt do better than this. I am sure of it. So in terms of like the major movies coming out this weekend, there's only really 3 out of the 5. This has the least amount of buzz surrounding it. So yeah, all that competition is a con, big old con. Uh, I guess I could mention like the whole plot of this movie revolves around like LeBron James in a way. Like our main two characters like in his mansion, and they throw the party at his mansion, right? And sure, LeBron, he's a big name. Everyone knows who he is. He's one of the most recognizable basketball players ever. But I mean, his presence didn't exactly help Space Jam 2, so I doubt it's gonna do much here. So I don't know if I'd label it as a pro or a con. I'm just gonna might as well mention that. Uh, I think that's it. I'm pretty sure that's it. So opening weekend. Well, this movie did have Thursday previews, but they're gonna be rolled into Friday's box office, so there's nothing to talk about there. But yeah, so opening weekend. Mm, what can I compare this to? I mean, I don't know if I would compare it to Good Boys. I don't know about that. Well, I forgot to mention, like, obviously this is aimed more towards black audiences, and they have been coming out sorta for movies. I mean, they kind of came out for Woman King, and I know they really came out for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, which is a good thing. But there was also the Whitney Houston movie last month, which nobody saw. So yeah, I feel like they're gonna pick and choose what they see, and I don't know if they're gonna gravitate towards this. So yeah, but oh no, opening weekend. I mean, I guess we could. It's not exactly a. It's a pretty terrible comparison. They're not even of the same genre, but it's very recent. I feel it's gonna open around the same as the Whitney Houston movie, like around $5 million, which is not great. So I think I'm gonna go with that. A I think that's a realistic number. So I'm gonna say 5 million for the 3 day weekend, like 6 ish for the 4 day weekend, and then it's total. I don't see it going very far. I'm gonna say less than 15 million. I'm gonna go a bit of a wide range, 15 to 20 million. I could be wrong. This movie could do way worse. It's certainly possible. I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, I've been very wrong before, where I think I have low expectations and the movie does even worse. but that's what I'm sticking with. So 5 million for 3 day, 4 million, 6 million for 4 day, and like final total less than 15. That's what I'm sticking with. And at this point, it probably would have been better if it stayed on HBO Max because this doesn't feel theatrical in the slightest. But Warner Brothers made that decision, and they're gonna have to stick with it. So yeah, that's House Party 2023. It's two down, three to go. Next up, we got A Man Called Otto, then Plane, then Skin and Murray, that thing. So stay tuned for those. But anywho, yeah, that's it. That's all. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, turn notifications, share the whole drill. Uh, you want to check out any of the past prediction videos I've made two now for 2023. Mathregan and Devil Conspiracy. Obviously, that list is going to grow definitely by the end. Once I'm done with all these, and especially like next week, it's going to be pretty full by then. But if you want to watch any of the past prediction videos I made throughout the years, you can go right ahead. There's also the canceled series where I go over all the movies that were supposed to come out but didn't. I've covered House Party twice. The first time was episode 151, and that was when it avoided the HBO Max treatment and it went full on theatrical. That was the first time, along with just a bunch of other Warner Brothers movies. One of them being Salem's Lot, which is still in the ether, probably going to get canned at this point. And then the second time I talked about it was episode 161, where it got delayed by like a month. It was supposed to come out last month, but then it got um pushed to this month. So yeah. I talked about that alongside 80 for Brady and A Man Called Otto. So yeah. So if you want to watch those episodes or any other episodes I've made, there's like 170. So if you want to watch any of those, go right ahead. Binge it all from beginning to now. Highly encourage that, so go do that. There's also box office recaps where I go over the box office results for any particular month. My 2022 recap videos, the two of them, will come out one of these days. They will happen. You just gotta wait. Just be a little patient. They will happen. So stay tuned for those. But if you want to watch any of the past recap videos I've done on the channel, you can go right ahead. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out. Goodbye.